Ivy Organic is dedicating the month of November of 2022 to the wonderful pomegranate. And not just the wonderful variety, we also have an Eversweet and the Parfionca. These other two varieties, the Eversweet is virtually a non-staining clear juice variety, and the Parfionca has routinely tested as one of the best tasting pomegranate varieties. And these last two varieties that I just mentioned are also have a very small and soft edible seed compared to the wonderful variety, which has a medium-sized seed, as most of you are aware, as it is one of the most widely distributed and most found pomegranate variety in nurseries and grocery stores around the world. This month of November, we have a variety of pomegranate lessons, including a blind taste test with several California rare fruit growers that are going to basically blind taste test about a dozen varieties and give you their feedback on which ones are their proven favorite varieties. We're also going to be doing a pomegranate tour of close to 17 varieties of pomegranates, so you can see their growth habits, patterns, colors, and flavors. And lastly, we're going to conclude with a planting care tip guide so you can get your pomegranate trees off to an excellent start in your backyard orchard. And if you're out of room, as we are here in our backyard orchard, you may want to consider espalier gardening as well, as pomegranate trees are easily trainable into an espalier form, where you can see here behind me, and again I'm going to be going into greater depth on how easily you can fit a pomegranate tree where you're virtually out of space in the backyard orchard. Pomegranates are ancient fruit trees with origins that trace back to Turkey and Afghanistan, and can be found in religious stories of Greek mythology and the Old Testament. It is also believed that the tree of knowledge was most likely a pomegranate tree and not an apple tree, as apples are not native to Mesopotamia and the Persian Gulf territories. Pomegranates symbolize prosperity, fertility, and knowledge. They are one of the easiest and drought-tolerant fruit trees to grow in grow zones of 7 to 10. You may be successful growing pomegranates in ground in grow zone 6 at your own risk, and the colder grow zones can still successfully grow pomegranates as long as they're grown in containers and brought in for the coldest months of the year. The coldest that pomegranates should be exposed to is about 5 to 10 degrees Fahrenheit. Pomegranates are deciduous fruit trees that in spring support large, ornamental looking orange-red blossoms that develop into, again, ornamental looking shades of red depending on the variety, just in time for the holidays. Most pomegranates are ready to harvest between August and December, and again, depending on the variety, maybe sooner, maybe later. They are not only beautiful additions to any backyard landscape, but are extremely delicious and nutritious with high antioxidant, which are anti-cancer and heart health benefits. You can plant pomegranates in virtually any soil condition as long as the soil is offering good drainage. Any compost or amendments should only be added to the top inch or two of the soil, as adding it into the planting hole will result in the plant collapsing, and it can stun the plant's growth as well as result in stem rot. Whitewash the tree with Ivy Organic 3-in-1 Plant Guard or whitewash formulas to organically protect the tree from the hottest and the coldest days of the year. By curbing the weather extremes, your tree will perform significantly better with more growth, more flowers, and ultimately more fruit than an unprotected tree. You only need to feed your plants 3 times a year with Ivy Organics all-purpose fertilizers, which offer your plants all 6 plant macronutrients, not just the 3 that most fertilizer brands offer. Ivy Organics all-purpose fertilizers include nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, magnesium, sulfur, and calcium. And the most important month of the year to feed your pomegranate trees is May, as you're going to want to make sure all the elements are readily available, as the plant metabolism is going to be peaking with the highest light hours and the longest daylight hours in the month of June. So by feeding your plants in May, you're going to make sure that those elements break down and are readily available to the plant. And again, that is the most important time of the year to feed your plants. In the early spring and the early fall, you can offer your plants about half of that recommended dose fertilizer, as in the spring, the plant is just waking up, coming out of dormancy, and also in early fall, it's now returning back into dormancy. So you're not going to necessarily want to offer your plants the full dose fertilizer recommended amounts. For those of you growing your pomegranates in container, it's advisable that during the growing seasons of spring, summer, and fall, that you offer them a low dose fertilizer at the first week of every single month, as that'll ensure that there is adequate food throughout the entire growing season. Lastly, adding a 2 to 3 inch layer of wood chips will help improve any soil type, whether it be clay or too sandy, while reducing your watering, reducing your weeding, and insulating the ground from the summer extreme heat as well as the winter freeze. Again, by curbing those weather extremes, you're going to have a much happier and more successful plant from year to year. And here are some of the great varieties that Ivory Organics is offering for sale this year. The first, and my personal favorite, the Parfianca Pomegranate. These are large, bright red, sweet fruit with a slight balance of tartness, which enhances the fruit's natural flavors. UC Davis taste testers rated this variety as the best tasting juicy fruit with a very soft, very small edible seed. It's a self-fruitful variety, meaning only one variety is all that's needed in order to have fruiting success. The second variety Ivory Organics is making available for sale is the Eversweet Pomegranate. This is a red fruit with clear, non-staining, and very sweet juice that performs well from coast to inland areas. Also, as the Parfianca, has a small and soft edible seed. Another self-fruitful variety. Last but not least, can't have a pomegranate sale without the wonderful pomegranate, as this is the United States #1 most popular variety that you're going to find in any nursery and grocery store. The wonderful pomegranate has a red, orange, showy blossom that develops into a purplish red fruit. These fruit offer that traditional, delicious pomegranate taste you would expect, that are delicious, sweet, and tart. These fruit, unlike the Parfianca and Eversweet pomegranate, have a medium edible seed and is also self-fruitful. For more information about pomegranates, be sure to go to ivorganics.com, and also be sure to regularly check us out, as we have another special coming in December with our Ivory Organic Merry Berry Christmas sale, which includes raspberries, blueberries, blackberries, and boysenberries. And as always, and for those of you that have been following us for many, many years, we're going to be celebrating our now 6th annual free fig cutting giveaway. And for the first time ever, we're going to be offering rooted varieties for sale as well. So be sure to check that out. If you've enjoyed this educational lesson brought to you by Ivory Organics, be sure to give us that thumbs up. And most importantly, for those of you that are new to our channel, welcome, and be sure to subscribe and hit that push bell notification to stay informed of all of these lessons as soon as they become made available. And as always, keep growing with Ivory Organics, and wishing you all happy gardening.